Hello, cuties. This is Kim at Questboard Terrain. I just wanted to thank you for watching my builds and listening to my stories. This build was inspired by the Babydoll Head / Creepy Challenge hosted by Carl Makes Stuff. Click on the links in the description to see the other entries and to join me and other crafters on Discord on Carl's and the Dungeon Matron's channels. If you like what you see and hear on my channel, please like and subscribe as applicable, and enjoy. Oh, and happy Halloween. The box was small enough to fit in his fist, but it took all his strength to break the seal that held it closed. Within lay a tiny scrap of thick writing skin, tied into a scroll by a thin piece of leathery twine, which he recognized as sinew that Tanty often used to secure boxes that contained special order pies. He remembered her chuckling as she described how the piglet looked and sounded when she harvested it. She would then command that he place his finger on top of the knot to hold it tight while she twisted the ends into a delicate bow. With a brief wonder as to what or whom the twine came from, he tugged slowly at one end. With that touch, he found himself in Auntie Dee's hut at the bottom of a trench in the cold, dark sea. A memory? He sat on a great shell opposite her as she stooped over her preparation table. A faint yellow-green glowed from her skin as she chopped popping seaweed and wriggling tentacles for their evening meal. Her aura meant that something was happening that would make him uneasy, but he did not know what she would be concerned about. Something else was strange. The vegetation and meat were knitting together, becoming whole as she lifted her knife again and again, as if she were moving in reverse. She paused to look up at him and pointed her knife at the area of the table directly in front of him. She spoke, but he could not understand the words as, like her movements, they also came out backward. He realized that his hand had been moving. He looked down and saw that one of his hands held a small scrap of writing skin still against the table. Beside it was a strand of sinew twine. In his other hand, he held a needle-tooth pen that had been dipped in the nearby pot of heavy, gelled squid ink. He watched as his writing hand moved backward from whatever the first letter was of what he was unwriting, and the first drop of ink retracted back up to the pen. He stared down at the blank slip of skin and wondered what he had or would write. Several long seconds passed before he heard Auntie Dee's smooth voice clearly. "Go on, child," she encouraged. "You know it. I can't block you for too long or Sis will be suspicious." She smiled widely and chuckled. The tube worms and anemones that adhered themselves to her shoulders and back swayed, retracted, or spewed jets and strands of ink and matter into the water around her in response to the shudder of her huge body. Or should I say, more suspicious? She is smart and devious, so paranoia is a helpful part of her defense. She frowned. She is also strong. But if you make haste, we will be finished before she knows it. She knows that I do her bidding only because she leads our coven. I would rather just explore and extend my own jurisdiction. I don't care what she does on land. And she will turn on me as soon as it suits her. She winked at him. And I, her. Let us call this our insurance. She pointed again at the paper in front of him. but none of that will matter if you don't make haste." He was still confused as he stared down at the blank scrap. He realized this was a memory from the first night he spent in the lair of Auntie Dredgemuk. Tanty Bonegrater had prodded him and pinched him and had determined he did not even have enough marrow for stew. And she turned him into something tall and strong and older on the outside. Suddenly, a word came to him, and he placed the pen against the skin and began to write as the memory faded like a sigh. He released the sinew from the note and pulled the curled skin open. At the bottom of the paper was a simple drawing of a baby wrapped securely in someone's arms. Beneath it, the words, "The Guardian of the Children's Temple," had been written in an old, official-looking script. Above the picture and the script, 4 simple words were scrawled in a hasty, childish print. His hands began to shake as he read. "My name is Baza.